What's up, everybody? What are we doing today? We're going to Epcot to ride Test Track and talk about it a little bit. So let's get going. Let's hop on board. We're about to hit 64.9 miles per hour. No, we're going to do about 7 miles per hour. Just kidding. This is the Magic Kingdom, the Tomorrowland Speedway, where the only thing you're going to test is how well your kid's going to drive, how much insurance you'll need when they grow up, and how much your spine and back can take on the jerking and jamming along the track. This is Test Track right here. This ultra-futuristic, techie, neon light world that Disney had recreated in I don't know what year. I like the original version better. It was much more realistic. It felt like you were riding on an actual road at night. There were some trees, some lights, some street signs. This just feels like you've entered the Matrix. So you still get the same ride system, the acceleration test, braking, handling test, and obviously the killer high-speed loop at the end at 64.9 miles per hour. Don't ask me why you can't do 65 in Disney. I guess they did some research and maybe a kid flies out at that speed. Either way, 64.9 miles per hour on that outside track feels like 100. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk a little more about this ride. So GM and Disney got together to design this ride to emulate what it would be like to go through the actual torture tests that concept cars have to go through to make it to production and be sold to people on the market. Now, you actually get to design your own car on this ride. While you're waiting in the queue, you scan your park pass and load your car up. You design it from the ground up. The wheels, the shape of the car, the color, even slap on the power plant, plasma burners, superchargers. And if you're like me, you're going for straight line speed. Winning is winning, whether it's by an inch or by a mile. I am not worried about efficiency. I'm burning fuel and dinosaurs at a rapid rate. I want to be across that finish line first. Now, you are competing against other people who have designed cars in your ride vehicle. Some of them may be better at efficiency or handling. Who cares? I'm getting across the line first. That's what matters to me. Here we are designing the car. You start off with the shape, the structure, the height, width, the length, and then you start to throw in all these little additives. You know, you change your wheels, the size of the wheel, the shape of the wheel, the rim. Then you get into the color, and then all these extras with the plasma bursts and stuff, which is really cool. So we've talked about some fun parts about the ride. Let's talk about some of the cons. Number one, this ride tends to break down a lot. It is the fastest ride in Epcot and in Walt Disney World, so it has a lot of safety features on it. So if even the most minute thing begins to go wrong, they're shutting it down. Number two, a big portion of this ride, the high-speed loop, is outdoors and is subject to weather. So if it starts to rain or there's lightning in the area, they will shut this ride down. Next, it's probably one of the most thrilling rides in Walt Disney World. So long wait times are gonna happen. I'm talking 90 minutes, 100, 120 minutes. And it never really lets up throughout the day. So either get there first thing in the morning if you're gonna do standby, or if you're gonna do a lightning lane and you're entering through the front of the park, I would recommend grabbing the lightning lane for Test Track first thing in the morning. There is one other option to beat the lines, and that is the single rider option. Let's talk about that. So as an individual rider, you will be broken up. You will ride separately from everyone else in your group. Sometimes you may ride together on a slim chance. It's usually just me and my fiance in the park, just the two of us. I'd much rather have her in another ride vehicle. I feel much safer. She's not the best driver. Don't tell her I said this. But typically we ride in the same car, sometimes 50-50. But if you're with a larger group, you're going to be all broken up. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I come to Disney quite often. I ride this ride a lot. So riding together doesn't really matter to me. But for people who don't come here very often, you probably want to ride together, experience it together, and get your picture taken together on the high-speed loop. So a single rider option may not be for you. However, when I do single rider and the wait time is like 120 on standby, I wind up getting on the ride within 15 minutes, so it pays off. But don't expect to get to the front of the single rider line and try to beg with a cast member, hey, you think my friend behind me and my family member, we can kind of ride together, sneak this on? No, these are the rules of the road. Those are the breaks, no pun intended. You're getting broken up to fill each seat appropriately on Test Track. Now let's talk about a few of the tricks of the trade when it comes to the lightning lane with Test Track. So if you're entering traditionally through the front of the park, where Spaceship Earth is, the big ball out front, I would recommend picking Test Track first thing for your lightning lane in the morning. And then as soon as you get done with Test Track, I would tell you to pick Remy right after that. And as you walk to Remy over in France, you will walk right past Frozen. I would stop in and hop on Frozen real quick. You probably can get on it with a 20 to 30 minute wait. The flip side of the coin, if you're coming through the back of the park, entering through the International Gateway from like the Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach Club Resort, Swan and Dolphin, and anything that is off the Disney Skyliner, I would pick Remy first thing in the morning and then get off Remy and choose Test Track. And as you walk toward Test Track, get on Frozen. Frozen seems to be this middle ground, no man's land early in the morning, because if you're in the front of the park, you're going for Test Track. If you're in the back of the park, you're going for Remy. If you hustle up off of one of the rides, whether it be Test Track or Remy, you can usually get on Frozen without having to worry about a lightning lane and use those lightning lanes for Test Track and Remy, your bookends at the park. Hold on till here comes the high-speed loop, and no, your hair's not even going to whip through the wind here. You're doing about 7.5 miles per hour on the Tomorrowland Speedway. I'm just trying to mess with you guys. Here we go. Let's hit that high-speed loop. One last tip, maybe the most important one of this video while we're on the high-speed loop, lightning lanes for Test Track. Now, if you're in Epcot all day, grabbing Test Track and Remy may not be that difficult to get a good time. Sometimes they're not available later on in the day. So let's talk about park hopping. Sometimes I park hop into Epcot from Hollywood Studios or Magic Kingdom, and I can't even find availability for a lightning lane for Test Track. I'll have to keep going in and out of the system. As soon as I see something though, I grab it and I will work on modifying it. I'll do the roll and scroll, and usually I can get a little bit of a better time. So just be aware that these lightning lanes are limited. They do get eaten up. Disney will actually put in a few more here and there, but you got to work on it. And as you make your way up Test Track, you're going to walk into the most expensive gift shop in all of Walt Disney World. There's a Corvette here, a Camaro, a bunch of other cars. If you got some money burning a hole in your pocket, hey, go for it. Otherwise, I hope this video helped, and enjoy your ride on Test Track.